Welcome to Because We Can. My name is Jay, an advocate and conscious seeker. Each week we will explore inspiring messages to help us unlock our truest potential and power within all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. When we believe we can, we are absolutely limitless. Thank you for joining me today. Now let's dive in and see what today's message brings us. Don't let your inaction or your fears or your doubts stifle you in continuing to improve upon what you know you want to change or what you know you want to get better at. Remember that it takes time, it takes effort, it takes taking risks, and it takes having compassion for yourself to fall down, pick yourself back up, and encourage yourself to keep going. We are in the car today. We got a special edition right here. I am super excited to be back at it with another episode. A huge shout out to everyone who has been listening, tuning in, becoming a part of the amazing Because We Can community. I have immense gratitude for each of you in coming along on this journey together as we go along each of our journeys together. I'd like to bring a special message today, hopefully short and sweet, about small acts of kindness. And as we move through this year, starting here in January, right now, thinking of things that we can get into, do more of, do less of, I've been meditating on the intention of doing more acts of kindness. It could be small, big, what have you. So at the turn of last year coming into this year, I had an experience that really made me stop and think. And I was not feeling my best after it happened. I think it was around close to Christmas time, actually. And I was coming back from getting some food from HEB. Nothing to it. I had grabbed a jug of water. I grabbed a rotisserie chicken. About to have a meal for myself and my partner. And I was so excited and was super pumped. And as I was coming out to pull onto the main road, I saw a woman and 3 of her kids holding up a sign asking if somebody could help provide food or anything that they could. And this was right as I came out of church service that I work at, and we were talking about how we can give back more and do as Jesus does, non-judgmentally, in a safe space. But it got me thinking about how I can give back more and wanting to do that more. And here I am, presented with this scenario right in front of my face. And I kid you not, I hope I'm not the only one, but I could not look at the woman or her kids. I was so uncomfortable because they were right there on the other side of the passenger window looking to see if I could help. And I had just gotten these food items, and I'm like freaking out internally because I didn't know what to do. I had just gotten those items for me and my partner. We were gonna have lunch together, and I just felt uneasy in that moment for some reason. And I had a feeling in the pit of my stomach, and I looked the other way for oncoming traffic, looked back for a second, and I took off. And I hate admitting this because it's taken me some time to process it, to even share at this time, a few weeks later. And I started reflecting on why that is. I had to sit with myself and ask myself, why are you uncomfortable? No judgment. If it was meant to happen and it was meant for you to help them, you would have helped them. Believe me, as I was driving down the road, leaving that area, within a heartbeat, I was like, I want to turn around. I need to turn around. Something in me is saying to turn around, but I didn't. And part of me has constantly been trying to figure out why that was. And like I usually do, I got back to the apartment of my partner and I told them, hey, something just happened and I don't know how to feel about it. And they're like, what happened? And I proceeded to explain to them what happened, how I felt, why for some reason I didn't turn back around. And I felt so ashamed, so guilty, that part of me didn't even want to eat what I had just bought for us, because I was like, it could have been used in a better way or given to the family that could have really used it. So, long story short, they started to tell me, it's okay. Like, if it was meant to happen, it would have happened. You don't know if somebody after you was able to help them in some way. After everything had happened, I prayed and I hoped that somebody later helped them. And I think in those moments of it actually happening, feeling like I didn't do anything about it, and us ending up having lunch and me trying to move past it, I found that sometimes just because you feel like it was in the goodness of your heart to act on that doesn't mean that the time and place for you to do that is the right time and place. That's a really hard one for me as a giving person. I have my flaws and I have my fears and I have my insecurities that hold me back a lot. And I am always going to be honest about that. Sometimes I am embarrassed or nervous to share that side, but I know and I recognize that that is something that we all struggle with in some shape or form. No matter if it's holding ourselves back in giving more, or holding ourselves back in sharing more, or holding ourselves back in expressing who we really are. It can range from anything that resonates most with you, but that was in that space and time what I was having such a hard time processing and moving through confidently. Still to this day, I give it thought and reflection. But in that moment, closing out, what I took away from that experience was not that I didn't do enough or that I didn't act in accordance at that time as I think I should have. That wasn't the point. Now that I'm looking back at it, the point of it was to communicate to me that I try my best and I can only do my best. And there are moments in time where we are going to be presented with the prime example of what we are calling in or what we want to improve on. And we're going to fumble and we're going to fall and we're going to make mistakes and we're not going to act on it right away. It's going to take us a few more tries, trial and error, right? I also took away that inner motivation to act the next time, to have a plan of some sort, to not run into that kind of situation or the same situation again. Like I was ready and pumped to find a way to have something already made so that if I see somebody on the street or at a light or in need, I can be like, hey, I got you. I got you. So, long story short, fast forward, come the new year, I was like, Mom, I'm going to make pre-made bags of snacks, food items that are non-perishable, that can help somebody get through the part of the day where they may be super hungry or going without food. Something to just give them an extra crutch, an extra lift, boost to be able to continue on wherever they need to go or wherever they need to find the best resource for themselves. Anything that I can do to help. And I went to the store and bought a range of snacks and food items and got little organizers and put it in the back of my car. I was prepared. I had plastic utensils that they could use to eat, like the vegetable cups or fruit cups, so that's not as difficult for them. I thought of every little scenario, every situation, and I felt so much better after that. Funny enough, to this day, I'm hoping it'll change, but I haven't ran across anybody to provide these pre-made bags for, but I know the right time will come and I will be fully present and intentional in giving away those items. And with that, it gives me peace of mind. And with that, I'm able to sleep at night. I'm able to comfort myself in knowing that I didn't let that previous incident affect me in the ways that it could have, or stop me again from being able to really help somebody in need. And so, with that being said, I wanted to share this message, share this experience for any of you out there who, at the turn of this year, feel like they want to do more and they want to give more of themselves, or they want to give more from their heart with intention and bravery. But with any amount of courage and any amount of confidence comes trial and error, and comes testing the waters, and comes getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. But how do you do that? You have to start small. You have to start little by little. You have to start by taking incremental steps in another direction than you did before. Because what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. But what beauty is in another famous saying by Albert Einstein, in that energy can never be created or destroyed, only transformed. And that is what we should tap into. Not what we think we lost or destroyed in not acting or not taking that chance or risk, but rather being able to transmute what is already there or what has already happened and using it for a greater good, using it for a greater purpose, and using it for a greater effect. I think that is a powerful message and reminder for myself, and I hope that it brought you reassurance and affirmation that you are doing everything that you can, everything that you're able to at this moment in time. Don't let your inaction or your fears or your doubts stifle you in continuing to improve upon what you know you want to change or what you know you want to get better at. Remember that it takes time, it takes effort, it takes taking risk, and it takes having compassion for yourself to fall down, pick yourself back up, and encourage yourself to keep going. For a lot of us, that encouragement may not be there. That support and that love may not be there to pour into you. So what do you have to do? You have to pour into yourself. You have to reassure yourself that it's okay. That happens. Life happens. Another person can show up, maybe in the way that you weren't able to. And that is okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you a uncaring person. None of those things. So I hope each of you are doing well and you are giving yourself that grace and that understanding and that time to reflect and move through the things that may be challenging, may have been challenging for you previously, and to own it, to reclaim what you feel like you couldn't measure up to previously, and flip that around and say, I am a very giving person. I am a very strong and confident person and secure in what I can offer. I am someone who is caring and compassionate and empathetic, and I can make that difference for myself and for other people. So without further ado, thank you for tuning in today, for engaging in this brave space that we've created, and for being a part of this incredible community. I am so grateful, and I am so excited to be having these conversations and sharing these messages with each of you. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you may be going through, what you may be experiencing, what you want to highlight and share that you are proud of. Let me know. Let's connect. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.